Yay, let's log into here. Anybody forgetting their passwords yet? Get confusing the two? All right. So today we went over organizational units and basics of group policies. So we're going to do that with you guys right now. Then maybe we can throw something else in here. So let's get Big Red out of the way. Bye-bye, Big Red. Over in the Hyper-V. All right, we're running. So I'm going to go in the test bench because we got test bench all ready to manage everything yesterday. Mostly everything. We got our Dawn Funk. He should be server 123, or did we have an exclamation point? Oh, he must change his password. And I have to do an exclamation point because it won't let me do the other one. Unable to update the password. The value provided to the new password does not meet the length, complexity, or history because we've probably used it before. A double exclamation point. I'm going to go in there and hard set that really quick. So I just did doubles. Because I've used the password before, it didn't like it. But because I'm the administrator, I'm going to go in there and fix that too, right? Let's just go fix that really quick. I want my server 123. I don't want to remember exclamation, exclamation. I'll pull my hair out later. There's a lot to pull out. I wouldn't like that. We'll hard set it. No. And unlock just for fun. All right. There we go. Now my password server 123 again. So what we're going to do today is group policies. So let's see. Do we have access to... Well, we're going to do OUs first, actually. So I was in the right spot. So let me go back into Active Directory. Did I go over OUs with you guys at all yesterday? I don't remember. Do you guys remember? Nobody? No? All right. Cool. So I'll do this the simple way. So we know yesterday we created this user that I'm on right now, known as Mr. Dawn Funk, right? Somewhere, yeah, right there. This gentleman right here. At least I think it's a gentleman. I shouldn't assume. All right. I'm going to minimize this for a second because we're going to try and get the basics. Most of you have already gone through what covers this. But OUs are pretty much like folders, and we organize the users and computers and objects in OUs. So we just think of all those as a file that's getting put into a folder, and the folder is managing it and organizing everybody and putting them where they need to go. So we're just going to pretend right now that we have users right here. So one thing to know about the users folder is we can't put more OUs inside that folder. We have to make them outside of it because it's not an OU itself. It's kind of a fixed folder that we can't really change it. So say Dawn Funk works in Texas, right? So we can say Texas. So he works in Texas. But then he's in Killeen, because you guys love Killeen, right? And we'll do this a little bit different than morning class. And let's just say he works at the main office. So I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to go new. I'm going to do a text file. And I'm just going to call it, because we're just having fun. So we got Dawn Funk right there, okay? Or we can do the really have fun with it and Dawn Funk at... Wow, it doesn't like me. Cool. So we have dawnfunk.contoso.com. He works in the main office. The main office is located in Killeen. Colleen is in Texas. Now we don't have all that stuff out here, right? Now, too bad we can't put Texas in users because it won't want to go in there. It'll say no. But OUs are just like folders where we go in here and we can have permissions and stuff based on them. But permissions that these get are from group policies. So group policies manage everything that have to do with OUs and what can happen in the OU. So we'll think of our group policies like the properties right here. So, and we can put like file shares. We can put files in OUs also. We can put all kinds of stuff in there. So I just want to get the basics that OUs are pretty much folders. You're navigating through directories that contain your users, your computers, and you're trying to manage them and organize it. Because our stuff's small right now. We have like one or two, a few factory users, but say you have a company and you have over 2,000, 4,000 people. Having them all in the same folder in the same directory is going to be really, really a pain to find it, right? So I'm going to close this out really quick because this was just, this was just a quick example. And I'm going to go back into there because we're going to do the same thing inside. And this is just going to be, basic run through of it. You guys have gone more advanced. Most of you have already in your actual uCertify stuff. But if you were kind of iffy on what it, how it handles stuff, hopefully this helps you. Let me know if it does or if it's just a waste of time. So I'm going to do the same thing in here. So if I tried to go to users and go to new, you notice there's no group policy option in here, right? That's because I cannot do it. It's just fixed. This right here is actually an OU. So if I go, I think I can organize them in that one. I could be wrong. Yeah, so I can put an OU in there. So I can organize all these domain computers by location and stuff inside the domain controllers folders. And anything that's got domain controller permissions from the GPOs is going to be handled from this folder. They're going to inherit the permissions above coming from this folder here. So I'm going to right click just out in the middle here. Maybe. Hey, all right, let me click on this one instead. I'm going to go new organizational unit. So this right here, you're going to want to uncheck that for most of your labs because if you type something wrong and you want to delete it, if you don't do that, you're not going to have fun trying to I'll show you how in a little bit, but you won't be able to delete it. So for fun, I'm going to do it like that for now. We're going to do Texas. Internet's tripping. Sounds like a clean thing today. I'm going to go OK. So see how it has that little icon there? It might be hard to pick up, but you probably see it on yours too. See right there, that tells me this is a organizational unit right there. So then I also created Colleen, right? So I'm going to right click on it, go new. No problem. And let's do Colleen. I don't know if I'm spelling it right, but close enough. And then we did a main office, right? So let me click on that. I might have to right click and refresh, or this thing might have glitched on me. Let's find out. Refresh. Hello. Okay, maybe it didn't like me. Maybe I clicked the wrong thing. Did anybody see me click the wrong thing, or did I just glitch out here? I guess I have to go back to the video. Clean. And okay. Did I hit cancel last time? I'll find out. Instant replay. And then we did main office, right? So what's cool about these, when you right click on them, each little OU has its own properties. So you can actually give a description, the street and location. So you actually do this could be like a location. Everything in here. Who to contact there for help. who manages it. So notice there's only 3 tabs up here, okay? Remember that in a second. So since I didn't uncheck that box, if I wanted to right click and delete this, I typed something wrong. I want to delete it. Are you sure? Yes. Well, since it's protected, I can't delete it. So did this show you guys how to delete these if you don't uncheck that box and you use certify? I know the book doesn't tell. Everybody who's watching the video, I'm waiting for a response. All right. I'm here, okay. So they hide it. It's not where you'd think it would be, because you'd think you'd go in here, you'd right click, you'd go to properties, and you'd think it would be hiding under one of these tabs, right? Say, hey, unprotect it so I can delete it. Well, you'd be half right. It is in there. But we have to come up to view up here, and we have to go to advanced view. Now keep an eye on that column right behind there. You'll see new stuff pop up. Advanced features, I mean. See all that new stuff pop up in there? There's more stuff to play with than break. Now there's TPM and TDS. Users is our regular one we're doing, and we have our Texas. So now if I go to this, I'm going to right click on Texas and go to properties. Now there's 3 more tabs. We have our general, we have our managed by, and we have our COM. But now there's the object one. Object one has protected object from accidental deletion. So this is one that we can check it and uncheck it right here if we forgot to. So I don't need to change it on that, but if I wanted to delete this, that would be how. So now, if we want to prevent stuff from accidentally being deleted without, doing that checkbox. So if I delete this, it's gone forever, right? If I delete it, it'd be gone if it let me. And there's not going to say yes or no, do you want to do this? It's just going to be gone. So there's a feature called the recycle bin. Not to be confused with this one, but there's Active Directory recycle bin that we could turn on. And then there'd be a recycle bin in here where we could undo the delete. It'd be just a safety precaution. The thing about that, once you activate it, you can't turn it off. You can't say, oh, now I don't want the recycle bin. It's either there or it's not there. It's a permanent addition. So let me go to the spot that we can do that. Actually, no. Yeah, Server Manager. Let's see. So it's under Active Directory Administrative Center. You'd think it would be in that other spot, and you can just flip turn on, right? So let's scroll. We're going to go to our domain. I think it's actually a right click. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So you right click it and you enable recycle bin. So if I do that, it's going to tell me, are you sure you want to perform this action? Once the recycle bin has been enabled, it cannot be disabled. Okay. Please refresh Active Directory Administrative Center now. And now it'll have a recycle bin in here. So this is the other spot where we can manage stuff just how we were doing it. So we can add users, passwords, unlock and reset accounts. This one we can actually search for users, so it's quicker to find them, get to them. When you work in call center, this is where you live. Excuse me, I had a sneeze attack. I had to pause the mic. Let me close that. Go back to where we were. So now if we accidentally delete stuff in here, we'll be able to recover them from that other window over there. So that's just the basics of OUs. So OUs, this is just the first part. This is where we organize stuff in them, right? And then we can put labels and stuff on them, managed by. We can actually go in there and manage the attributes of these, but we really don't want to do that right now. This is how we can get in there through the GUI and do it. Usually you do this stuff through PowerShell. You edit that stuff through the PowerShell. So I'm just going to set this down to the side because now the next thing that we work side by side is group policies. So what do you guys understand about group policies? I'm going to see if you guys can write something in there. Do you have a grasp of it based on the uCertify, or did it kind of confuse you and you just kind of copy machined everything in there? No, it's how we manage the operating systems, and pretty much we manage everything. We can fine tune manage everything with the GPOs. Alvin's got the closest one in there, yes. And that's also close, Scott. So you can make them inherited, you can make them non-inherited, but it's pretty much all the rules. So like if I didn't want you to be able to change your desktop, I'd set a GPO that says, hey, this has this desktop image, it's the company's desktop, and you can't customize it. I can do it so you can't change the taskbar. I can do it so you can't see anything when you click the Windows button right here. I can do it so the store never shows up. Games aren't on anyone's computers when they log into their computers. They're not possible. You can't change the clock. I can set all the security policies. So we're gonna go and play with that right now. And again, see, I'm doing all of this stuff from our test bench, right? I don't remember. I don't think this one is actually accessible on here, but I could be wrong. I know this morning I went to it through DC1. Yeah, I don't see it on here. So it might be one that I can't manage unless I'm actually on it. So, but that's the good thing about this is we added all our servers right here, right? So I'm going to go in through DC1, and we should have rights when I right click on this, and I'm going to say, where's remote? Yep, right. I'm right on it. Remote desktop connection. I'm going to click on that. Now it's going to ask me for my credentials. And I just type in my regular password, and it's going to let me remote into DC1. They're going to do their little security handshake and confirm I'm who I say I am, and that's going to give me a token and say, okay, you're authorized. Usually it doesn't take this long, but you gotta remember we're running all these in a virtual machine in the first place, so. I huff and I puff. Let me in. Thank you. So there's domain GPOs, and then there's local GPOs. So what my students last time in the last class did is I had them build stuff, and they created their custom image. They went to go deploy the custom image for the workstations, and then they realized they did something horribly wrong when they customized that image. They set all the GPOs local. They disabled the ability to open up PowerShell and command prompt. So they weren't able to join the domain because they also disabled the control panel too. So they had to completely rebuild their master image they were going to deploy with stuff pre-installed on it. So they kicked themselves for a day because they lost an entire day of their final because of that. But they remember that. They'll never do that again. All right, so now that we're here, we're not on test, okay? If I slide that over, see I'm on DC1. So it just happens, this is also a remote connection to our virtual machine. So we're actually on DC1 on Contoso right there. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go to tools, and now I should have a group policy management right there underneath event viewer. That's where we're going to go. So this is where we actually start to see it says forest. This is our entire forest, and our master domain, our primary domain is contoso.com. So anything else would be a dot domain beside it, and they'd fall underneath this. So there'd be an arrow, and then there'd be another one of these with the Triforce underneath with more stuff in there. So the stuff that we apply on contoso.com gets applied to everybody in the forest. Contoso is the master GPO. It's the universal. So, and we only have one domain on ours. And the current domain controller, the master FSMA role controller, is DC1, the one that we're actually on right now. So sites, we don't have any sites. So sites would be web pages and stuff, and you can just right click and you'd be able to play around and do stuff here. Group policy modeling, group policy results. So this would be, are they active, are they working, what are they being applied to? I'm going to drop down domain, and we're going to contoso.com because that's the one we're going to play with here. So let me drag this over. So some of you got in there already, and you've linked group policies. You've done group policy inheritance, delegation. You've played around with this a little bit. So default domain policy. This is the one that if you make changes here, this will be applied to everything. So this isn't typically the one that you want to play around with. You want to use this just as a base, and we'll link to this. So when I click on it, it's telling us it's not being enforced. So in order for these to actually do something, you got to right click and you have to enforce it. And I'm about to sneeze again, so. And they can, like you said earlier, they can be inheritable rules. But they can also be fixed to individuals. So our OUs, we attach to group policies to an organizational unit, and then when we drop a computer or a user into that organizational unit, the GPOs are applied to whoever's in that OU. So instead of doing it per individual, we can do it on a massive scale, managing everybody. So in this case, this is the default domain policy for everything right here. So anything in contoso.com, this is going to get applied to. Now you see our OU we created right here, Texas. So we can apply, create a GPO in this domain and link it here. And then domain controllers is what this stuff's all getting applied to right now. So I'm going to right click on ours and I'm going to say create a GPO. We can always link to an existing one too. So we can have one that's already made. Instead of making it over and over, we can apply it to this. So I'm going to do create a GPO in this domain because we're just going to play around in Texas. New group policy, we'll just say fun. Why not? I don't think we don't have a source one because we don't have any created, but we can have one pre-made, use that as our source, and then make some more changes to it without actually breaking it. You can break your machines. You do this wrong, these are literally registry edits. So are you guys familiar with the registry? The registry is a scary place. It's an easy way to break your computer. If you use the run command and go to reg edit, This is old school. This is it right here. So there's going to be some things that'll be kind of familiar, because what we're going to be playing around in here is local machines and users. That's what these GPOs mess with. Yep. This is all binary and hexadecimal. Sometimes you have to go in here and you have to manually enter stuff for programs to work properly. So that's beyond the scope of 410, okay? We're going to do it the way we know it doesn't 100% break stuff, but you'll see hardware, security, software, system, users, default. So you open that up and you get control panel, environment, software, printers, keyboard. We're going to see the same stuff in the group policy editor. So most people get stuff confused. Good thing you guys got past it already, but they keep on confusing group policy management with group policy editor. And they'll be in the wrong place. Like, I can't find it. Like, go backwards, read out loud the steps you were doing, and figure out where you dropped the breadcrumb in the wrong spot. I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to create this GPO now. Fun. I'm going to right-click on it, and we're going to go to Edit. So, see, we have Computer and User Config. So I'm going to start off on Computer, and I'm just going to go to Policies, since it's at the top first. Software Settings, Windows, and Administrative Templates. And these are all in the ADMX folder that's on the C drive. So that's where we have to add stuff later. So in the video, I was telling people what's bad for you guys is you guys have to deal with this whole thing we call Windows 10. Every single version of Windows 10, every different update there was, has a different GPO for it. And the only thing this 2012 R2 knows is Windows 8.1 and Server 2012 R2. So you have to manually go and download all those GPOs from Microsoft and install them in here. And then cross your fingers and hope Microsoft didn't pull a Microsoft and have broken GPOs that don't work. Good luck with that one. But you also, like, if you want to manage Chrome, you have to download the Chrome GPOs. If you want to manage Firefox, you got to manage the Firefox GPOs. So you have to go, you Google it, and then you download it, and it tells you how to install them and put them in the right spot, and then they'd show up in here under Administrative Templates. So Administrative Templates, like one of you said, Server. We can manage Server from right here. Let me get this big. So allow only system backup, disallow locally attached storage devices as backup targets. That's important because you don't want someone to go to your mainframe and your servers, plug a USB drive and copy everything off like you see in the movies and then run away, right? You don't want that. In real life, it wouldn't be that easy. You're not going to be able to sit there, go up to it, and plug in. If someone did it right. I'm pretty sure the state of Texas probably is that bad. Disallow network as a backup target. Disallow optical media as a backup target. Disallow run once backups. So you can lock a lot of stuff down just from that. Start menu. Start screen layout. Let me go here. So I can enable this. So, and if you don't know what they do, feel free to go through here and look at it. So this tells you how this is done. Each one of these could be completely different. So this setting lets you specify the start screen layout for users and prevent them from changing its configuration. The start screen layout you specify must be stored in an XML file that was generated by the export-start layout PowerShell commandlet. So you have to run that in PowerShell. To use this setting, you must first manually configure a device start screen layout to the desired look and feel. Once you are done, run the export start layout PowerShell commandlet on the same device, and the commandlet will generate an XML file representing the layout that you configured. So you have to configure it first. You run this command, it stores it, and then you have to put it right here in server share layout.xml. And then you tell this to look at it, and it knows where to go. But look up here. You must have at least Windows Server 2012 R2, 8.1, or Windows RT 8.1. This ain't gonna work on Windows 10. So I'll just put not for now on there. But a lot of these, they tell you how they work in it. And then pin apps to the start when installed. We can make it so they do or don't do that. So we go enable, and then we can do show. And we can enter custom values in here. So again, this takes more. There's a whole book, and pretty much there's an entire class just on GPOs. I have a book in my Amazon cart right now that I was thinking about buying and then copying it and giving you guys if you guys want to go more in depth into this stuff. But this is where pretty much you are God in here. This is a good place to get this installed on your computer, make a test bench, make your server, and go through these and see if you can make them work, apply them. Because this is a full-time job right here. Just managing one of these sections would be a full-time job. So. And then like I'm doing, recording these videos and stuff, do it, record yourself, go back, watch what you did. You can also use that for your resume. Say, hey, here's me doing this. Here's me setting up an Active Directory. Here's me explaining what I'm doing. And you'd be surprised. Little things like that get you out of the circular file cabinet and get you a job. I had a student where I just gave him that Notepad++, and he told him he knew he's used Notepad++, that his teacher had him use it in class. Like, oh, we use that all the time. That's our favorite program. Something simple. He got the job. When there's 100 people, you got to be different. That's why your resumes should never, ever be in a standard format. Because if there's born as the next guy after you've looked at 100 resumes, nope. So I try to put web links. I put interactive stuff in there. And guess what? I've gotten every single job I've sent my resume to. So they might say, oh, that don't work. Never do that. Well, it worked for me every time. And the people who are saying, oh, you should do a resume this way. It's like, well, then how come the only job you have is teaching resume classes? You're good. And then why did I minimize that? Did I close it all the way? Oh, I'm so special. All right. Let's go back in there. I don't know why I closed it. Don't mind me. So we were in policies, right? So administrative templates is where the administrative fun stuff is. So we were looking, here's a lot of the fun stuff. So come on. Go away. Get out of my way. I didn't close it. You didn't see that. I didn't close it. So down here, you'll recognize some of these words just flipping through, like iSCSI. You guys had a lab on that, right? Kerberos. Net logon. Even shutdown policies, shutdown options. So go in here, turn off automatic termination of applications that block or cancel shutdown. So then when you shut down, you won't get asked, do you want to close these programs first? They're stopping you from shutting down your computer. There's where you would stop that if you hate that. I know I hate it. I'm like, hey, I told you to shut down. You need to shut down. Scripts. Allow logon scripts when NetBIOS or Wins is disabled. Specify maximum wait time for group policy scripts. Run Windows PowerShell scripts first at computer startup and shutdown. So we can turn all of this stuff on. I mean, that's why there's hundreds and hundreds of GPOs that we can play with in here, right? We can also manage software being installed and making sure it's installed. I think you had a lab on that too in there. Just let me know, because I can. I've been helping 411 and 412 class, so this all looks the same to me at this point. And I'm apologize, that's not fair to you, but all this stuff's in my brain right now. So software install is kind of fun. So you might be familiar with the MSI files, right? So MSI, we can go in here. We can say new package. Come on now. And we can make this install whatever MSI file we put in here. It'll create an install package. And when that computer turns on, it's going to look at it and it's going to install this if it's in the OU that this group policy is applying to. So we can automatically have it install Office 365. We can have install Adobe if we have it in an MSI file. We can use nightnight.com and get all of our free software and get that downloaded as an MSI, and it'll automatically install everything. The good thing about using Night Night, I don't know if you're familiar with it. You gotta type it right, but type it wrong, you're going to a porn site. But it lets you, every time you run the exe that you download for it to install, it'll always download the newest version of that software, no matter what, no matter where it is. So it's nice to have like your OpenOffice, Notepad++, your PDF readers in an MSI file that came from that website, because then every time the computer turns on, it's verifying that that's the newest version of that software. So at least for workstations, that's good. You don't want to do that to servers. You want to make sure when stuff's newly and released for servers that it's been out for a while before you apply it, unless it's a severe security patch. Because as you've probably seen on your phones just from being in this class, and the class listened to you talking about Windows, you probably have news things popping up about updates from Windows 10 breaking stuff nonstop popping up on the news on your phone, right? Because that phone's tracking everything you're doing. Come on. So here we set security settings. I went to Windows settings. We got name resolution, which is DNSSEC. So I click on it. This looks different than anything else you go to in here. See? So we got name resolution. We have policies. Policy is the group. Policy object group, GPO. So this is Yvonne's territory. Don't ask me. I am not the master of this. This is Yvonne. We got to go to the genius for this. So scripts right here, though, this is where we'd actually put the scripts in and add them that we've written. So when the computer starts up and they're in this OU, it'll run that script. So maybe every time someone comes into work, you want it to run a script that says, hey, this computer's been logged in today. So it's kind of like a poor man's clock in. And then when they shut down, it'll run a script. And maybe you want that shutdown to, make sure everything's been backed up before that computer shuts down so that they don't lose anything. So these are really cool to get into. You might even want to play with these on your personal computer. There's all kinds of helpful scripts you can Google online, put them in. But you would just go add script name. You just browse and find the file we made and put it in here. So the first one here, the one that just has scripts, these are command prompt scripts or batch files. And then PowerShell or PS1s, so they're PowerShell scripts. So you run these in this one, and you can add as many as you want in here. Let's go in. So run Windows PowerShell script first or run Windows PowerShell script last. So it means it's going to run the command prompt one or it'll run the PowerShell one first. So is this helping you guys at all understand what some of this stuff does? Because I know it just had you run an exercise, but I don't think it actually had you test it, right? I know I keep on asking. It's like I don't remember what's in there. I know we did a ton of these in Yvonne's class. Okay, cool. And if you don't want people using Wi-Fi on your network because you're trying to secure it, the first thing to secure a network, disable Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is the easiest way in on anyone's network. So 802.11 policies. So there's nothing in there, but you right click and then it gives you where you write the policies. So create a new wireless network policy for Windows Vista and later release, or create a new Windows XP policy. So this goes way back, right? This is the way back machine right here. Public policy keys, certificates right here. So IP security policies on Active Directory. So I can just be clicking these and everything, but it might just be blah, blah, blah at this point. And these are all on the computer level. So this is, we drop a computer in this OU, and this will be applied to the computer itself. We can also apply to the user themselves. Preferences, control panel, folder options. So here we can go right click, new, folder options for XP, folder options at least XP, Windows Vista, and it gives us all this stuff. So we can pre-set up what shows up, how their folders show up. So we can say show hidden files. We can say don't show. We can say don't display thumbnails or always display thumbnails. So right here, we can preset it so that it's how our company wants it, how we want to lock it down on those users. Because remember, your front office staff who doesn't know jack except how to use Office, you don't want them to have rights to get in there and get into stuff they shouldn't be seeing, you know? The biggest thing of value of any company is information. It's data. They're going to steal everything. If someone can get in there, they will steal it. So I'll close that. Internet settings is a good one to go in. And these all act a little bit different. You see, there's nothing here because you actually have to right click on these and go in there and say new. So now you can create a new local user that'll be applied to every single account on every single computer in that folder. So, and don't confuse local users with domain users. Local users is on that computer specifically. So I'll close that. Hopefully this gives you guys a better understanding of what's going on here. I want to change something for fun. Administrative templates, yes. Let's mess up with some desktop. Hide Internet Explorer icon on the desktop. Okay. Remember, Don Funk is a member of the group I'm playing with right now, right? Remove computer icons on desktop. Okay. Always hit apply and then okay. And this is just like the other stuff. Sometimes you have to right click and refresh it. So do not share or do not add shares or recently opened documents to network locations. Remove recycle bin icon from the desktop. Hey, okay. We're just going to see what this does, okay? I'm saying okay too much, okay? Okay. Drugs are bad, okay? That's a weird one right here. Don't save settings at exit. Ooh, prohibit adjusting desktop toolbar. Okay. Don Funk's going to be angry. Anything else in here look like fun? I see someone typing, that's why I'm pausing. And this is just the stuff that's out here. There's more. Desktop wallpaper. So we can specify by desktop wallpaper here. Prohibit add-in items. Let's do that. You can't add anything to your desktop. We want a clean desktop on your desktop. Allow only bitmap wallpapers. Prohibit edit items. All right, we're just let's log in and see what happens now, huh? Your head hurts? Yeah, this is just a thing that you get when you get time. Go in there, play. Do one at a time if you want and see what it does to that user. Look them up, Google it. So we'll see because it says Windows Server 2003 XP and Windows 2000 only. So maybe this doesn't work on these. So that's the thing is you got to find them per what the GPOs are meant for. And there was Active Directory ones too. Enable filter and find in dialog, hide Active Directory folder, maximize size of Active Directory search. So there's all kinds of fun stuff in here. Edge UI. Prevent user from replacing the command prompt with PowerShell. All right, I'm gonna close this. So I have to make sure that I close. No, I didn't close. I just put it behind it. There we go. Double click. Don't double click. So we need to make sure it's enforced for it to do something to Texas. So I'm gonna right click it. I'm gonna say enforce, and we have our user is in there. So he's in Colleen office, and it's gonna be us. We're in there. What we can do, like, are the restrictions we want to apply to everybody, we do here, and then those we want to add more restrictions to, we'd make a new GPO just for that folder and apply those more restrictions further down the line, so we get more restrictive as we go down. So we're like a hungry boa constrictor as we're going into there. So now, one thing we want to do though when we do this is we want to make sure we do a GP update on whichever computer we're testing. So I'm gonna close this. This should work now. We're on DC1. So I'm going to close because we're remoted into DC1. Okay. Now I'm back on test. So what I want to do before I restart this computer is I want to do GP update. This is going to update my group policies with the domain controller if there's been any changes. So we'll see if anything disappears on my desktop after this. All right, we're going to log out and log back in. And we're going to see if this is going to call me a liar, okay? It probably will. Oh, showing stuff on the desktop. Nope, looks like it wasn't applied. Or this might have been for older versions, because you notice how some of those... Oh, look! There we go. Cool. I'll try that one more time. So it should apply it, but there's probably something goofy going on right now. So I had issues using this 2012 R2 in the classroom. So I set GPOs and they weren't working, but then I did the exact same ones in 2019 and it pushed them out to everything. So remember, we're using an eval, so they might not want you to actually use this for legit. So let me just move us to that other folder really quick and see if that changes what's going on here. Oh, that's why. I never put Don Funk in Texas. Location. He's going to Texas. Yes. Now let's try it. Special. I'm. Yes. You guys getting sick of me logging out and logging in? Come on, please work this time. Hey, something worked. Recycle bin's gone. That's gone. Let's see. New folder. No, it's still letting me create something, so that didn't apply properly. Now I can move that. So some stuff worked, some stuff didn't work. What else did we say not to be able to do? Who remembers? Because that worked. You can't undo what you delete. No hiding stuff from us. I guess that's a bad one to test because we don't have internet. Goodbye. But at least you got to see one thing work, right? The recycle bin is not her. He's gone. So we could have changed this though. Instead of being command prompt, it could be PowerShell. But whenever you make changes, you got to run GP update to make sure that this is synced up with it. So cool. Well, I'm gonna stop this right here. We got to play around a little bit. Let's see. Where's this gonna put this now? So if I go back in there and I just move them outside of that. So let me come back up here. We go to Active Directory, users and computers. So also like when you're making changes and stuff like that, write down what you did so that you remember what you did. Especially if you break it. So I can take him, go back here. There's Don Funk sitting there. I can go right click to say move. And then I want you to go back to users. We'll do our GP update. And now his recycle bin's back. So that's how they are. You set the permissions to those folders and you put them in there, and it should apply what you did. That's why you make a change, you go check it. You make a change, you go check it. If it didn't work, you make sure it was meant for the version of Windows you're trying to control. Because you saw some of those for Windows Vista, Windows 2000. I didn't check on some of those that I made changes to. It might not have meant for the server. It probably doesn't apply to server 2012. So I will leave us at this happy screen that we start off with every day. We're at 7:33. And I'll just save this little bit that we just did. We did a little bit more than what I did with AM class. So you guys want me to upload this video? Or put them both up and you guys can vote again which one you want to keep? Okay, it's like it's ours. Ownership.